15. That's
one of his favourites. Gone back to pretty much his old team on the right there. Gebhard Felgrich, his physical trainer, his physio, Milan Amanovic. He doubles up as a bodyguard, does Milan. Charlie Gomez Herrera, who he practiced with a lot in his days when he was training in Marbella. And of course, Andy at the end of that quad squad. I think in his years under Gebhard Felgrich, that's when he was probably the fittest I think he's ever been. I think it's a good rehire. They know him so well. And good time to go down to Josh Eagle, who is sitting courtside. Josh, first of all, good afternoon, and give us an idea of how things are down there. Bit of wind, bit of sun.
Yeah, it's been a little rainy. Of course, we know that to start the campaign here, day 4 in the Australian Open, but it's a little cloudy, and hopefully we don't get any rain showers. Of course, we can close the roof here, so I think the fact that they've got the roof open, they're expecting it to stay fine. So let's just keep our fingers crossed. The court's pretty lively, a bit of heat in the court, so looking forward to seeing Faria crank down some of these serves because it's massive.
.85 kilometers an hour with the second serve there. So it's one thing having a big first serve, but he's bringing the heat on the second as well. It's going to be tough for Djokovic to attack that, but he's... It's nicely worked from Faria. Djokovic, arguably the best returner of all time. He's picked apart some of the biggest serves we've ever seen with regularity. This is just another one for him to figure out.
I don't know if you were with us prior to the match backstage. He had an eye patch on, didn't he, Colin?
Yeah, he had an eye patch, and he was touching this sort of...
the lights.
Yeah, the light sensors, the reactions. Fine-tuning his vision, his reactions, his nervous system to be ready to react to this big serve in particular.
I watched a young Portuguese-speaking man yesterday evening in João Fonseca talk about big second serves. Wow, I was so impressed. I mean, the first is meaty. Doesn't hold back on the second. He was regularly in the 180s, Colin.
It's becoming more common in the game, isn't it? The power and the physicality just continues to increase. Not many players that don't have a big first serve now, but more and more going big on the second as well.
Pedro Sosa on the right, coach of Faria.
Jaime Faria.
Always a nice moment for a player like Faria, big underdog. Just get a hold of serve. Particularly nice to do it with an ace. Look at the service motion. It's great technique. Brings that right foot up, really loads and explodes into the ball. Not much can go wrong with that.
Love it.
Showcasing some heavy artillery is the big man.
We mentioned Andy Murray will have been scouting Faria. Done a bit of scouting myself, and everything I've seen points to a really good two-handed backhand. His forehand, you know, he could do some damage, but it's the more erratic wing.
Of course, a historic day today for Andy. He is contesting, gentlemen, his 430th Grand Slam match, which is the most of all time. He goes one ahead of Roger, who contested 429 of them. Serena, 423.
Interesting courtside here. Andy Murray, very vocal early on. I think he's just starting to slip into that coaching role quite nicely. And, you know, he always liked that vocal support as well. And it seems very clear early on in this relationship that that's what Novak is expecting from Andy.
Not often that you see Novak flat-footed.
For the slower kick, second serve there. Pretty apparent that Faria likes that one.
There's that beautiful backhand that you were talking about, Colin, and it's brought up a break point.
Just guilty of not quite getting into position to go for that ball. Djokovic survives for now.
Here's a question for both of you. In other sports, you often see coaches, if they transition from being a player to a coach, I think of football, other sports as well. There's always a long period of honing the craft of becoming a coach. Of course, with Andy, it's happened literally in a couple of weeks. He's retired and now he's a coach. I'm curious to hear how you guys view that, the experience that he has or hasn't. How does that manifest itself when you're trying to coach the greatest of all time?
there from Djokovic. Coach Murray liked that one. Personally, I think Andy's a very good fit for what Djokovic is looking for. We talk about tennis coach, you know, it's a very general term. That could be someone in a club teaching 9-year-olds, or it could be a tour coach. And even within tour coaches, there's different roles. Pedro Sousa, I think, has more of a developmental job with Jaime Faria. Andy's not going to be developing Djokovic's technique as such. It's more just how can he make the 1 or 2% difference tactically, mentally, to help get that 25th slam.
Game, Djokovic.
Well, an early start from Novak. Good news is, though, he's 2-1 up. On that gentleman, I call that a multi-combo special.
I think it's a one-man band, isn't it?
Nobody knows or understands. That's pretty impressive. Strings to his bow, as does this guy. Faria, not the only Portuguese man in action today and playing right now. So people back home in Europe will be spoiled for choice because Nuno Borges is in action against Jordan Thompson. Halcyon days for Portuguese tennis.
Borges, the Portuguese #1. Picking away at that forehand, isn't he, Djokovic? So well defensively initially, and just keeping the ball on that wing, eventually getting the error. He's got a few errors when he's been able to get the ball deep into that corner. And a little glance to his team as if to say, that's the one.
Josh, does it look like Novak's a little tentative early on here?
Yeah, I think so. And I think when you haven't played against an opponent, he faced this in his first round as well, where he was a little bit on edge, a bit of a slow start. But I like his start today. It's better. It's just more firepower up against him early on at the moment. I mean, this is a seriously big serve. It's not just 208 kilometres an hour, but it's coming from a high height, so it's really doing a lot off the court, almost forcing Novak back.
How would you describe the pace of the court? Fast, medium?
No, not at the moment, not because there's been a bit of rain around. It's humid, so I'm going to call it medium at best at the moment.
It's like when you see Novak bounce his racket. Might have just missed that on our camera cut there, but he wasn't happy with that return.
Yeah, very surprising reaction. Yeah, just nothing extreme, just a little bounce to the racket. venting his frustration.
Yes.
Such a big game here for Faria. We're only in the 4th game of a best-of-5 set match, but if he can just stay on serve in this opening set, he's going to feel like he's right in it.
Advantage. Faria.
I have to say, whoever's taught him to serve has done an incredible job. Not just that he's tall, as the guys say, but the technique is brilliant.
I know he's lost the point there, gentlemen, but
Yes.
that's some decent pop again on the second delivery.
Yeah, it's a really repeatable motion as you look at the serve speeds there. It's smooth at the start, Colin, you're right. It's a simple technique. It doesn't look like it's going to break down over long periods of time. I just love the ease of the motion. In fact, if anything, he could probably serve a little bigger if he needs to or wants to.
Advantage. Djokovic.
Just over-pressing there. Trying to go deep in the box, big into the body. Oh, Djokovic would love to just nick a break. Put some breathing space between him and Faria.
He's got a chance to do that now.
Game, Djokovic.
Okay, first break is under his belt.
You just got to be a little careful when you're serving to Novak. You just don't want to fall into the trap of going bigger and bigger. He almost sucks you into that. You've got to mix up your pace, your variation. You've got to, those little subtleties are the key, because no one returns a big serve better than Djokovic. So maybe just showing a little bit of inexperience there on serve, Faria.
I find it fascinating. 4 games in, of course, they've scouted Faria, they've made a plan, but for me, Djokovic has figured him out already. 4 balls into the forehand there, just kept the ball there until he got his error. He's going to try and break down that wing.
He was pretty busy in the off-season, was Novak, and especially so he made the trip down to South America, to Argentina, where I guess he did a retirement exhibition match with Juan Martín del Potro. It was a very nice gesture.
A couple of unusual reactions here from Djokovic. We saw some in the first round. It's like he's just 100% physically at the moment.
looks exhausted.
It's almost like this sort of, he feels faint.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. We saw this very similar in the first round as well. It sort of lasted about a set long in the first round, and he was able to sort of work his way through it. But I like his ball striking. His ball striking's better today, much better. It's cleaner, it's more aggressive, but just a few little question marks physically. Let's see how it progresses.
40-15.
I just saw his physio shaking a bottle in the background there, Milan Manovic. There he is. He's just making some sort of concoction that I think he's going to pass on to Novak after this game. Okay, steady on. He's had to work hard so far for the 4-1 lead. And he is not a happy camper.
Djokovic leads 4 games.
It's almost like that feeling you get when you start to exercise and the blood sugar level's a little low and you almost feel a little lightheaded, a bit faint. I'm not saying that's what it is, but it's almost,
Looks
that's
like
the way,
it.
yeah, he's carrying himself. And the fact that Milan's physio is preparing a drink and getting something in just to try and almost stabilize the way he's feeling. He's not happy, but isn't it? It's the experience, isn't it? The match management, the fact that he's feeling like this and still just gone, we're going to get through this game and get to 4-1, the sit down where other players may have been broken back.
Well, he's the ultimate professional, isn't he? He leaves nothing to chance, that's for sure. And when things are not right, he lets you know about it. So he demands a lot of his team, and they have absolutely delivered for him. Robbie, how many matches did you say? 430, was it?
This is the 430th, Josh, yep,
That is phenomenal.
at Grand Slams.
So he's played 430 times at Grand Slam level. That's phenomenal.
It's a joke, Rod. It's mind-boggling.
Just to play a Grand Slam's a good effort in tennis.
Yep. As you were alluding to again, Colin. He's just picking on that forehand, isn't he?
Yeah. Anytime he's getting a chance, Djokovic in particular, to hit that his own backhand sort of fast and deep down the line, he's using it because Faria looks uncomfortable dealing with that shot. This is the thing, you know, Jaime Faria, 21 years of age, he's still a player that's very much developing. He's not even in the top 100 yet. You know, and looking at his backstory, it was only at sort of 16.
That's right.
5 years ago that he started to sort of produce any kind of results.
He wasn't the top junior, was he?
Yeah.
He was always 3 or 4.
Yeah, in Portugal, which, with all respect, you know, it's not the same as a Spain or a France with, you know. Yeah, well done. Deserved to win that point. Nearly got away from him, but job done. Yeah, it's not as if there's sort of 10, 20 really top juniors in every age group, but you know, since 16 really started to get some results, started to train with the Portuguese Federation, and he's only really sort of 4 or 5 years into a serious tennis journey. He's got a lot of developing still to do.
Was his fellow countryman, just a year apart, Enrique Rocha, who was the top dog pretty much, but I can tell you he lost final round qualies here. I mean, how good would it have been if he had qualified as well? They practice a lot together, train a lot together.
What a shot from Djokovic. I would say he's best known for the down-the-line backhand drop shot. But this was something special here. Such a good tactical play, expecting the run around, powerful forehand, and just carving underneath the ball. Brilliant execution, brilliant vision. That's
the best game that Novak's produced so far of the 6. Better ball striking.
Yeah, it's a great start for Novak. I just think it's a step up today. He's come out of the gates a lot quicker. It's cleaner. His opponent here, he's cranking it. However, guys, as you probably agree, he has to take some chances and try and push forward. He's not going to over or out hit Novak from the baseline. Has to take chance and try and finish some at the net. You don't want to get into long ding-dong rallies from the baseline because there's only going to be one winner there. So let's just see if he's quick enough and sharp enough to make a tactical change as this match progresses.
Of course, the serves have been really highlighted last year with the improvements that Sinner made with his. Alex de Minaur was another one who made some beautiful gains with his delivery. And I would argue perhaps the Djokovic serve is one of the most improved shots over the course of a career that I can think of on the men's side of things. Sabalenka had a pretty big overhaul on her serve, which was impressive. But I think you both remember what his serve used to look like 2008, 2009. He was almost bowling that thing.
I couldn't agree more. And what I love about the serve is he used to kick his second serve in a lot, and now he just comes around the side of it and shapes it. So that means it explodes off the court fractionally. It stays lower because all the guys, they're returning better and better year on year. So he is just outfoxing them.
Oh, behave yourself.
Well, he has just made the impossible possible. How do you hit an angle from the middle of the court? This didn't look on.
Tell you what, it was on the line. 3 set points, Colin.
Given the set, Djokovic.
That's the way to rubber stamp the opening stanza. Slow in the beginning, but finished with a flourish. It's 6-1 for Novak.
Well, on the whole, it's 30 minutes of sharp work for Novak Djokovic. He's facing Jaime Faria for the first time. 21-year-old Portuguese has a big game. He's got weapons, but you just feel Djokovic has been able to figure him out. Probably not completely happy with everything. I think he'll be having words with his team about how he was feeling physically in that opening set, maybe against tougher opposition. That might have put him in some trouble, but he was able to sort of stabilize, in the last 2 games were the best he played in the set. Look at the difference in service points won. Faria's got a big serve. but he only won 50% of first serve points, 38 in the second. He's got to figure that out for sure.
Great point, didn't he, early on? Once Novak started to find his feel, Faria was in all sorts of trouble.
Beat him in Brisbane, so
That's right.
that could be one to watch. Don't rely on Thomas Mahatch, though. That guy can play.
I was playing the best tennis of his career.
And he beat Andy Murray a couple of times last year, I'm sure, so he would have Murray's full respect, that's for sure.
He's not on Tommy Paul's guest list either. So Brad Stein was telling us. I can tell you the score there between Opelka and Mahatch. First set 6-3 Opelka, 7-6 Mahatch. Second 7-6 to Opelka, 7-6 to Mahatch. They're about to start the fifth there.
Josh, you mentioned the conditions, but I just think it looks to me like it's suiting Djokovic. Agree with you. It's sort of heavier conditions after the rain earlier, isn't it? The ball maybe not jumping as much.
Yeah, no, we've had the tournament referee Wayne McEwen come out backwards and forwards a little bit in the last sort of 5 minutes. I just wonder whether they're anticipating any more rain, just keeping an eye on things, but it is definitely slower. Which is, once a little bit of humidity gets in the ball, it fluffs up a little bit, which means it doesn't travel through the air or, of course, off the court anywhere near as quick as what it can when it's dry. So these conditions absolutely will favour Novak.
So smooth. That was his signature shot when he came onto the tour. I remember in Canada one year when he beat Nadal, Roddick and Federer for the title there. That backhand on the line was a joke. It's linear shots. That's what stood out. Good serving. And a little fun fact about the balls. A lot has been spoken about the tennis balls in the last couple of seasons, but I can tell you that there is a little area, Colin, below the centre court here, where they have a test lab. And every day, balls come in there and they get tested. They test them during the late morning, early afternoon, hot weather, cold weather. And they test that the balls are within a certain range. So the quality control is to the nth degree from the Japanese company that produces these balls. And it's obviously a big debate, but I can tell you, I didn't even know that existed, first of all. And then they have another system that tracks the balls on the indoor court. And they watch them with Hawkeye cameras to see how they perform there too.
You've been getting out much, Robbie?
Love the team.
Well, we can do it all here in Australia.
Yeah. I mean, that is seriously impressive. And even more impressive, the fact that you know all that. Well played, sir. Incredible the lengths they go to here, the Australian Open, to ensure the quality of the tennis.
18.
Well, as you guys know, when you open a can of balls, they're not always perfect. Sometimes you get a loose bit of rubber and it'll rattle around. So they clearly don't want to do that, because at other tournaments you see them throw it back to the umpire. So maybe just checking here whether they might close the roof or not. We've had a few spits of rain.
It's looking threatening, Josh. You've got the best view down there. And I'll tell you one last fact about how the balls come prepared. The lid of the balls, of course, always remember them being plastic. They're now paper.
Really?
So it's all about recycling and doing as much as they can to reduce plastic waste.
They of course used to come in a can. I guess we still call them that, but it was made of metal, wasn't it? Now it's these sort of pressurized plastic tubes. A paper lid, wow. It's hard to imagine that sort of keeping the pressure in, but it must do the job.
Trying to see if that is closing ever so slowly or not.
I don't think so. This is a bright summer's day in Scotland, so it's
that's a low blow.
Oh.
That's come from nowhere.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh! He's down, but he's not out.
Cain Djokovic.
Like his foot sort of caught there, yeah, just the toe almost dug in and over he went. Thankfully, he seems to be okay.
Well, he was expecting a slide, wasn't he?
Yeah. For whatever reason, the foot just dug in. Not quite perfected that movement yet. Did a nice job with the commando roll, though. Got the racket out of the way.
About an 8.2 out of 10.
Period of physical uncertainty, if you like, for Djokovic. It seems to have gone. Just stretching out the leg there, but you know, he seems stable in the way he's feeling now. Certainly hitting the ball very cleanly. And I think tactically, a point that Josh made is a very good one. You know, for me there, Faria, a sort of three-quarter serve and then rolling the first forehand. I think if he's not on top of the point on serve here after either the serve or the first shot, I think he's in real trouble. I think he's got to go for more at the very start of these points. Big serves, big first hit, mixing the serve volley, as Josh said.
Whenever I'm watching Novak ground stroke, I'm always watching the depth of his shots. And even though he's ahead comfortably, I still don't think he's timing the ball particularly well. It's not staying on the strings long enough. A lot of this backhand's quite short by his standards. It's better length. And floating forward with considerable aplomb. Keep his fans extremely happy setting a break for Novak. How's the dynamic movement there? Wow. See how he stems that right foot almost when he makes contact with the ball. He's getting the weight going forward, side on, Colin Fleming style.
You look at the movement though, you talk about the dynamic movement, you know, these young players are in many ways standing on the shoulders of Djokovic, aren't they? And you talk about sliding on a hard court. I mean, game-changing movement this guy brought to the sport in this sort of 06, 07 when he burst onto the scene, open stances, sliding.
Well, I'll never forget the first time I saw this guy in full flow. When he beat Roddick, Nadal and Federer to win in Canada. He beat Federer 7-6 in the third to win the title. I mean, you talk about having to do it to the nth degree. Roddick was ranked 3 in the world at the time. Nadal was 2, Federer was 1. For me, that was the big announcement to the tennis fraternity. I'm here. I'm coming to play. Of course, he won his first major a couple of months later, right here, 2008.
Oh.
He beat Andy a couple of times in the finals. I think 4 times in the finals. He beat Murray once in a semi. Murray was giving him a hard time about it too when they were doing the exhibition here prior to the tournament, wasn't he?
I think that's what is so surprising when the announcement came that Andy would be coaching Novak, you know. Not just because it was so soon after Andy, you know, sort of retiring from his own playing career, but, you know, Novak was the guy that
single-handedly ruined his career on this court, as he put it.
His dreams, yeah,
yeah.
On so many occasions. And rivals for such a long period. And I wonder if there was a bit of intrigue from Andy of getting sort of under the skin of how Djokovic does it. How does this guy operate?
Yeah, pull back the curtain.
They would always have kept that secret private from each other, right?
Mm-hmm. Too true. That's a beauty. Just watch this forehand approach again. For me, indication that Novak's not on his game yet. No, it's just too short. He's normally so good at hitting the corners there.
Yeah, and gave Faria the running forehand. Always dangerous, but that is a brilliant shot, sliding through it. And a big chance here to get back in this second set. No surprise to see Djokovic targeting the forehand with the serve. They may well go there again. Faria has to make something happen here.
Yes.
Still looking in showroom condition is the Scot.
A real arm wrestle there.
Faria.
And a little bit surprising that it was Faria who outlasted Djokovic.
Yeah, for the longest rally of the match, Cole. Yeah, I think anything over 20 and above should be worth 2 points. He's got a chance to get back on serve. Big props to the Portuguese. He was bold, he was brave. He's missed a couple of backhands down the line. Wasn't going to hold back.
Well, all credit to him there. Jaime Faria. Just feels like he's broken off the shackles now, doesn't it? The reaction there. He was hitting the ball with a bit more authority and intensity. We might have certainly a set on our hands here. How often do you see Novak immediately break again, though? This becomes a big game.
Love 50.
Well, he thought about it. Faria just couldn't resist going for the rocket in the end. Went for a completely flat overhead. Usually better serve with a bit of slice to keep control of the ball.
Love 30.
When you're courtside, you can see how these younger guys, how hard they're working. I mean, what are we? 49 minutes in, and 6-1 2-all, and it's a physical effort for these guys to just throw everything at the ball like they are when they're playing Novak. We saw it in his first round. Basso Ferretti ran out of gas a set and early in the second, so that's a better point. That's what he needs to do. He needs to shorten these rallies tactically, but also physically. Just needs to conserve a little bit, because I just can't see over 5 sets how you can beat Novak from the baseline.
And he's done well when he's come in, Josh.
Yeah.
He's come in 3 times, he's won all 3, so.
Yeah, nice little movement here. He sort of splits and gets that racket right out in front, so tidy little volley.
Djokovic was looking to his team there. For me, it was actually to Gomez Herrera with regards to the forehand. It was solid hitting, but he's not really letting that shot go yet,
No.
flattening it out.
Absolutely not. I'm with you, Colin. He has got 2 break points, though. That's a proper strike. Completely committed to the cause.
30, 40.
Beautiful two-handed backhand. Really gets his weight through the shot.
Outstanding.
Yes.
Continues to impress in the forecourt. Stretching Novak with every fiber of his being.
And he's got to be experiencing feelings and emotions here, Faria, that he's never experienced in his life. Playing like this against a player that he described as the greatest of all time.
Advantage, Faria.
He's so on edge. I haven't seen him like this. He's so fired up with his emotions today. So animated.
I want to see Novak tee off on a couple of ground strokes, guys. Really just let the arm go. I've hardly seen him do that at all today. Just almost play the nerves and the emotions out of him for a while, Josh.
Right. Sense.
You're right. He's definitely maybe down a fraction on pace, ever so slightly, but
Yes.
spare a thought for this dude on screen. He's played the game of his life, and it's a juice. he would have held serve to love against most mere mortals out here, but I just think that the release we're seeing from Novak, the emotion, he's just trying to get himself almost reset, where it's that release of the anxiety, the stress, the pressure, all those things that he's feeling. But yeah, these young guys are really ripping it hard.
I agree with you though, Robbie. I just feel like
Advantage.
he just hasn't taken the safety catch off the ground strokes yet. It's just 10% of holding back, isn't there? Whether it's tension or the stress. I agree with Josh as well. Just let a couple of big ones go. And
Top tier tennis right there. He showed us some firepower in the game, a nice bit of guile, and he leads the 10-time champion here in the second set, 3-2.
Oh yeah, he's got it coming now.
Look how late the change was there in the grip. I mean, that was lastminute.com. We could not see that coming. Novak, the first to appreciate the quality and disguise in that forehand drop shot. And you can see why it's A little more humid today. There's a lot of moisture around. That's the player pod that you can see there in all its glory. That's where the players will dine. And Rod Laver Arena just behind that. Jaime Faria was so close to going to college in the States. It's really where he had his mind set on playing tennis. Of course, Nuno Borges had been there ahead of him. He was a standout at college at Mississippi State. Made the NCAA singles final back in 2019. And there were a lot of guys almost encouraging the Portuguese to go there. And then decided that he would pursue a pro career. And of course, the coach that's in his box now was a man who was very influential in discouraging him to go to college. And he said, "You're good, you're better than what you think. I see so much potential in you. Stick with us here at the Federation, and I think we can make you a good pro." And he was bang on correct. I'll tell you what, if I wanted to put Novak in a good mood right now, I would let him know that Thomas Mahach has just beaten Riley Opelka in 5 sets. 6-4 in the 5th. So that potential banana peel that Opelka could be is out of the way. Thomas is tired, more than likely.
Doubly positive news for whoever comes through this one, that Mahach has gone a long 5-setter, but as we said earlier, the young Czech can really play. Mahach, Lehečka, Mensik, they've got a trio of serious players.
That's a good Davis Cup team in years to come.
Look at this though. 2-1 Djokovic with the break, now 2-3 love 30.
Got that all wrong. Turned it into a difficult shot, didn't he? This one here, he just didn't know whether to hit a forehand or smash. He changed his grip at the last moment. I would have liked to have seen him hit a high forehand. He doesn't miss too many of those and now finds himself in a spot of bother.
It just looks so stressed. The decision-making wasn't clear.
Yeah, he's been a bit stressed all morning and afternoon.
2 BPs for Faria. Oh, that's good defense from the big man from Portugal. 1.93 m. And he knows how to get around a tennis court.
4 games to 2.
Novak with plenty of opportunities to come in, finish off at the net, but I think after that last missed smash, hesitancy set in.
Yeah, he's uncomfortable. I think a combination of his own game and the way he's feeling with that, but also Faria's game and the way he's now operating in this second set. Portuguese is shaking off any tension he was feeling in the first and playing some brilliant tennis now. The two challenges he's won in his career at Faria, they were both on clay. Hueras first, which is close to Estoril. Yeah, Estoril Open, it's been over many years, and another in Brazil, but he's a very accomplished hardcourt player, I have to say. I could see these sorts of conditions actually probably potentially being his best throughout his career. It's good that he could play on clay. But he looks pretty natural on a hard court.
That's a 15.
Still not as fast as serve. That was 2.13. He has clocked one at 2.17. The compass is not calibrated correctly, perfectly, I should say.
Jaime Faria.
Oh, this is good stuff
Faria leads.
from
5 games.
Jaime Faria. He is one game away from taking a set off Novak.
What a story this is turning into for Jaime Faria, Portuguese tennis. His win over Pavel Kotov in round 1 was his first tour level win, and here he is just a game away from taking a set off Djokovic. And who knows how many sets he might end up winning today.
Day 4 of a live coverage of the AO 2025. Got the 10-time champion in the house. He was utterly dominant in the opening set, but I tell you what, it's a role reversal here. It's just the one break, but Faria is holding his own in set number 2. Novak with new balls, trying to reduce the arrears.
18 love. That's it. False 11. Cain, Djokovic.
Robbie, I'm just wondering,
Faria leads.
as we take a look at
5 games to 3.
the topspin speeds there, that's Novak 2024. He's down a bit, isn't it?
Yeah, he
guys
is.
are right.
Yeah.
He's down 5 kilometres an hour on average, both forehand and backhand. He's just really hitting the ball.
100%.
Yeah, and I just wonder, he didn't play a lot at the back end of the year. Maybe he's just taking a little extra to get going. He really shut down his season early, Novak. So got a couple of matches in Brisbane. Definitely just not as consistent with his depth, how clean he's hitting the ball. Of course, normally it's amazing, but still very good. Just taking a little bit of extra time to put it all together here.
Yeah, he shut down in Shanghai, after Shanghai. He made the finals there, lost to Sinner. That was early October. Decided to take an extended break. Didn't play the tour finals. More like it. Better length on some of those ground strokes.
Yeah, he didn't necessarily
Love 30.
hit the down line forehand massive, but he stepped in, he took it earlier. It was more of a sort of proactive shot, and he got his reward.
Love 40.
It's the pressure of the situation for Faria. A couple of unforced errors in the game.
Cain, Djokovic.
How do you like that?
New balls, please.
8 points on the bounce. And we're back on serve in the second.
Faria leads 5 games to 4.
Yeah, not always my favorite approach shot this. It just opens up the cross court. You're hitting over the lowest part of the net. And for Novak, that's a shot that he can make all day long. Just have to ask Roger Federer.
Yeah.
That second match point at Wimbledon, right?
Almost a carbon copy of this sort of tactical scenario. Yeah, it wasn't the best approach. If you are going to go for that one, you need to hit it with real interest, get it deep and wide. It's well, solid from Djokovic, wasn't it? But from 5-2, Faria's lost all 8 points. Still just a game away from the set, though. Djokovic serving to stay in it.
Time.
Djokovic fans are a little happier now. How about dinner, Novak? Sure gets a lot of requests. Still some work to do here.
Love it.
Oh no.
Yeah, he left that ball. Thought it was going long, just clipped the line. Another approach though, where he's not really sort of hit that ball, has he? It's a bit safe.
And that now becomes the longest rally of the match. And the 20 and 24 that we've had have both gone Faria's way.
That was a big opportunity. Second serve, it was a slower one. Just came up and out of the forehand return for Faria. Third missed return of the game. At times he moves backwards on the return for Faria. Actually, when he's hitting the ball, he's almost still going backwards. It's a very difficult thing to do. He'd be better served sort of holding his ground and maybe trying to move into the ball. Going to move forwards on that occasion.
is what they came to see.
5 games over.
Man, you're making it hard for me here.
Both guys dead on their feet at the end of that point and a smile to each other. I think it's the floodlights have come on that Djokovic is unhappy about.
Look, guys, I totally understand. I absolutely understand. What I said to Novak, he won't go for me to call, no problem. But you're losing the rhythm.
We wait to switch on.
You're waiting for this.
I support you. I don't know why and also wait for the end of the set if they want to switch on. But
I'm
not now.
perfect. So,
If you want to turn it on. No.
but we wait, huh?
Okay, then we wait.
You're losing the rhythm. You're losing everything. I'm fine with it.
That was interesting.
RLA, could you please get the lights on? They're doing the 5-ball, and both the players don't agree with this.
Well, we're going to wait for the lights to be turned off, but see if you agree with me, Robbie. Faria said he sees fine, he's okay. Does that mean that, yeah, I don't need the lights, or I'm happy to keep playing?
No, I think, yeah, I've turned them off. That last point has reignited this crowd. I tell you, it is pumping courtside. He has set it alight, Novak, and rightly so. They shouldn't come on at 5-all. It maybe wait till the end of the set if they're going to put lights on. So sanity has prevailed.
Nobody likes the big light on. You've got to put the little table lamps, don't you? Yeah, turn the big light off, will you?
It's normally not good when you switch out the lights, because that's when the party's over. And in this case, it's what they both want. But also, I'm not sure why
221, sorry guys, that's
okay.
massive.
That is the biggest of the afternoon for him. I'm surprised they weren't consulted.
Yeah, that was unusual at
Well,
that stage of the set to suddenly put the lights on. Good game here from Faria.
Great game.
He'd lost 3 in a row, remember, prior to this one.
Jaime Faria.
But pyrotechnic serving. Some of the biggest of the match for him in that game. That's a good response. 6-5.
Games to 5.
Yeah, that was big, wasn't it? Extra gear on the serving. And that was the floodlights suddenly coming on just after that amazing point. Djokovic noticed it straight away, so it must have been quite different.
Director is courtside there, Josh. Is Wayne courtside there? Does he have a little instrument in his hand? Maybe the light was getting a bit dull.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's been coming and going, so I thought possibly, you know, in preparation in case there was a slight shower. But they have all sorts of meters here, so we'll wait and see what transpires at the end of this set.
It's been an entertaining second set, to say the least. At times, the tennis has been of good quality. There's been plenty of drama, that's for sure. See if Novak can take this to a tie break.
Just to add to the drama, a few drops of rain starting to fall courtside here. So the roof not closing at all that I can see yet. So we'll just keep an eye on that as well.
Wow, that was a tight point there. Nothing on the second serve. Just 137 kilometers an hour, as you can see, and really came out of the forehand as well.
I mean, he's almost going backwards when he makes contact with that.
He's tense, you know, even the greatest get tense. See if he can work his way through this set from here.
That's a 50.
Strange he didn't take that return out of the air and drive volley, move forward. Not entirely comfortable.
Doesn't get better than that.
Djokovic is being dictated to by the world number 125. He's all over him here, and it's another long point that the Portuguese comes out on top of. Djokovic just isn't hitting the ball.
What a way to bring up a set point.
How many times on a big point have we seen the first serve find the corner of the box? Brilliant serve in that moment.
He's mastered that one down the middle on the ad side, hasn't he? Like a good swing bowler. Good movement through the air and off the court.
Advantage, Djokovic.
Some very meaningful deliveries from Novak there.
Cain Djokovic. Faria is requesting a review on a call on the right serve. 6-all. Tiebreaker.
Good for length and width, that one.
Rain just getting a little heavier here, so Wayne McEwen's been out. He's assessed the situation. I'll be fascinated to see what happens in the next 5 minutes, because it keeps going like this. I would imagine play could be suspended or halted just until they make a decision on closing that roof, or I'm sure they'd love to try and get through this tie break though.
Djokovic.
Just overpress with the forehand there. It's a fine line for Faria between going for it and potentially overplaying.
Right. 1-0.
Josh, how's the light down there as well? The ironic thing is, like, we could almost do with the lights back on.
No, look, I think the light's okay, but you know, the players, they'd be so aware of these few drops, they'd also be thinking, boy, do we stop? Do we keep playing until we get to the end of this tie break? So a fair bit going on, a fair bit happening here.
Take anything you can get right now.
Suwan Faria.
Well, fortune favours the brave. I like the way he was stepping in and attacking the return. He's not leaving this to chance.
I always believe when you hit that shot tentatively, it stays on your side of the court. But when you go after it, as you say, I think good things happen. The miss hits go in. Shades of brilliance. Those have been few or far between today. But that was vintage Novak.
It's a 218km/h serve. Pretty good placement as well. Incredible.
That serve burned through the air at 217 Ks. volley.
A brilliant point all round. Faria's turn to produce a moment of brilliance. The return got him on top of it. This guy is a serious tennis player.
Using that full frame of 6'4", reach out, dynamic balance at the end of range there was magnificent. And he changes ends with twice as many points as Novak.
Faria.
These ground strokes dripping with quality now. Winner after winner. Flushed it right out the middle. That ball did not deviate on its path. 8 of those bad boys. How good has this tiebreak been?
I'm just thinking exactly that. This is incredible. 2-love down as well.
Yep.
Probably remember. Missed an easy forehand on the second point to give Djokovic the mini break. Since then, he hasn't put a foot wrong. Nearly made it.
6-4, Faria.
Was a piece of art right there. The combination of power and guile was gorgeous. And it's a centerpiece here on the Rod Laver Arena. Faria wins the second, 7-6, and a tiebreaker rich quality.
was a slightly uncomfortable moment for coach. Pretty good backhand cross court from Djokovic, and Faria ripped it down the line. This is where Murray can really, you know, make a difference. When he's winning the first set 6-1, there's not much to be said, is there?
Yep. Yeah, well said. This is compelling ground stroking.
13.
This is taking a page out of Novak's book with some of these linear strikes. Something the serve did so well when he burst on the scene. That forehand has melted into the strings. So tough to defend a shot that is struck so well down the line. The most direct way past an opponent. Of course, you are taking on risk. Highest part of the net. You've got a lot of court to head into.
And from 2-1 Djokovic with a break in the second set, Faria's, he's been playing better. He's been hitting the ball bigger than Djokovic. To Josh's point, you know, these young players now, they go for it. They've taken the game to a new level in terms of power. And, you know, Murray talking about the accuracy on the backhand cross court. Part of me thinks Djokovic just needs to start hitting the ball bigger himself. Fight fire with fire here.
Couldn't agree with you more.
Make Faria defend.
Tell you what, that was an authoritative overhead.
13.
Put a little asterisk alongside that smash. Could be huge in the context of this set.
Djokovic. First game, third set.
Just getting some nutrients in there. I just wonder how he's feeling, really. Faria, he has thrown a lot at Novak, and this is a different level to a challenger or a future, of course. And as you can see, can become the first Portuguese player since back in 1973 to defeat an ATP top 10 opponent at a Grand Slam level. Wow, that's 51 years. So I just wonder how he's feeling, guys. He's thrown a lot at Novak, and he's just been calling out to his coach for food, drink, all sorts of things. And I just hope that he's traveling along okay, because we know one thing's for sure: Novak can stay out here all afternoon.
Yeah, I wonder where the battery percentage is for Faria. Is he battery saving mode yet? I don't think quite, but
not much solar around on a day like today.
Yeah, that's true.
He's
played some long matches here. As this guy, 5 hours 53, 5 hours 2, 4 hours 50, 4 hours 48, 4 hours 32.
30. That's a 50.
Using his height to good effect, just to exploit that angle out wide.
Lights.
Just a bit sluggish with the feet on that occasion.
Those raindrops you can see down there.
Yeah, the roof's closing, there's no doubt about it. It's coming down, so they might just stop here, I would imagine, for a little bit, because this rain might just have an impact on that middle part of the court as this roof closes.
Already in motion, Josh. Is it already in motion, the roof?
Absolutely, it'll be good, just a couple of minutes, I would imagine, 2 minutes or so. Here comes Wayne McEwen, the umpire.
Yeah, good audio as well. You can hear it falling now. The umpire's chair roof.
And for Faria, I think this is actually a good thing. He's just played a really sloppy couple of points there, almost like his energy level was just dipping, and this almost just gives him a chance to clear his mind.
Yeah, fortunately, it won't be too long until they're back on, because not too much of the court has got wet and it's not coming down too hard. And they're getting the ball kids out here and support staff here just to dry the lines. So the radar's looking pretty good as well. So I think we'll be right. We won't be out of action for too long here.
Of course, when the roof closes, the lights will come on. There you go. Novak has worn contact lenses for many, many years. I was a contact lens wearer as well as having LASIK surgery, and you never see the ball quite as well under floodlights as what you do in natural light. I think that might have had something to do with why he didn't want the floodlights on.
Interesting. See how he adjusts as we resume play. So just changes the conditions of the match, doesn't it? With that removal of any sort of breeze. Not that it was overly a factor, but it just completely removes any of that. And perfect conditions, really. Will it suit the big, powerful game of Faria even more?
Just trying to have a look back. His playing results. I don't see too many indoor matches that he's played. Been stretched in all areas of his game, but he has responded to Novak fighting fire with fire. It was early on in the opening set. He was only down for about a 4 count. He was up and ready for the battle.
He's a big guy to take a tumble on a hard court as well, but thankfully no damage done. Serious mover, isn't he? You look at these pictures, the positions he's getting into, how dynamically he's covering this court. You know, open stances, sliding. It's the modern way.
It certainly is. Just checking a couple of things with his coach. There's Pedro Sosa on the right. And a shout out to our good friend and one of my go-tos whenever I want to know anything Portuguese, Miguel Seabra. He was giving us some good info and some good intel on the young Portuguese man. And he was saying back at home in Portugal, viewing this as a derby, Benfica Sporting derby. That's what we have in Melbourne today. Because, of course, Benfica is one of the teams that Novak has supported when he won the tournament in Estoril in 2007. They presented him with the jersey there when he came back in 2011. It was world #1. He got the #1 on his jersey. And also, a fair few Serbians were playing for them back in 2013. So he's got a couple of jerseys. But of course, we know that Faria is a big sporting fan, isn't he, Colin?
He certainly is. And anyone that saw his win with Pavel Kotov will have seen him do a celebration when he won.
And what was that all about?
It's the celebration of Victor Gyökeres, the Swedish star striker for Sporting. He's a big fan, Faria.
Yeah, in fact, Victor reached out and congratulated him when he saw that he qualified for the main draw. So it's big news back at home.
And why does Gyökeres do the mask celebration? Let me tell you, he's a big Batman fan. You know Bane and Batman?
Yeah, okay.
No one cared who I was until I put on the mask.
Brilliant.
A lot of people know who Faria is now, don't they?
They certainly do. So let the derby continue. It's nicely poised.
I really think that little delay helped
Advantage,
Faria.
Faria.
2 really sloppy points to go from 40-15 to juice. Just felt like he was maybe going to give the game away, but back to what he was doing best there. Backhand down the line's a real problem for Djokovic, isn't it?
Yes. Advantage, Faria.
2 hours in the making now, this contest.
Again, Faria.
It's incredible, it's so basic, some of these misses, it's inexplicable.
One.
Again, it's just not
Game
hit
on.
with freedom, the forehand. Didn't get the necessary revs on the ball, flies long on him. He's got to find a way to what I would call let it go. You know, really just let the racket head go through the ball.
Okay, I don't want to bring the mood down, but the lowest ranked player that Novak has lost to at a Grand Slam is slightly ranked lower than Faria today is, but it was here. And the trivia question today to you, Colin, is who was that player? Have you read your daily notes?
I know who it was. He was a player that liked to play in glasses. With an unbelievable two-handed backhand.
18 love.
He certainly did.
And he was one of the nicest guys on tour, I have to say. Dennis Isterman.
That's right. So for all the glory he's had, yeah, 10 times a champion. One of his worst losses ranking-wise was also here. That was back in 2017. Long way away from that, but there's a couple of old school Aussies that'll appreciate the quality of that approach.
I like it.
Are you saying you're not old school, Josh? Or are you?
I'm old enough. But I like that we're seeing something different. That's what, you know, he can't just keep rallying up. He's got to give something different to look at. A good start in this game, 40-love.
Again, Djokovic.
Those are always nice, love holds.
Djokovic leads 2 games, 2-1.
2-1, third set.
Time.
Hard afternoon's work so far, and a man who is often a fountain of knowledge, providing us with some sharp bites. Greg Sharko just reminding us, Colin, that this is the second straight year at the Australian Open that Novak has lost a set in both the first and second round. And prior to last year, well, of course it happened with Prismic and Poprin. It never happened before. Things are getting a little tougher for Novak these days.
It's not as easy, is it? Just isn't as big a gap now between his level and the level of the rest of the tour. And the other thing I would say, probably doesn't quite have the same aura when they walk on the court.
He certainly has my attention when he walks on the court, but I just think you'd be worried if the game wasn't moving on, getting better, and of course it does. I mean, this guy's 125. The depth has got a lot better. I think that's the big change in the last couple of years. Got a lot to do with a lot more prize money at qualifying level of slam events where these guys can invest back into their career. So that's the big difference for me, is the quality of the depth.
Yeah, it's a great point. We saw it with Bassov already. We're seeing it here with Faria. They're walking on, kind of thinking they have a chance. He's certainly carrying himself like he believes he has a chance.
30-50.
Beautiful service motion. Seen him pop a couple of smashes already.
Give this guy a couple more years on tour with this intensity, this type of quality. He's going to be a great player.
He certainly is. He's not bad around the net either. I think this new generation of player coming through, Josh, they've seen the importance of being able to finish points off at the net because everybody moves so well. You have to do it. And a lot of them are implementing it.
Jaime Faria. Two games up.
Seemed to distract Djokovic there.
Yeah, just when he went to hit that backhand, he's of course turned around quickly. He's looked straight up. He thought there was noise from right behind him. And again, he's agitated. He's been pretty cranky all afternoon, really.
It wasn't Andy, was it?
No, Andy's a classic. He's sitting there. He's petrified.
He joked about being here to sabotage him, didn't he, in the exhibitions pre-event?
I'm just not sure Andy knows what he's got himself in for here.
Time violation, warning, Mr. Djokovic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's.
Simply stunning.
Love 50.
Well, that was almost Fonseca-esque. The young Brazilian that we saw beat Rublev. I mean, no pace on this ball. Not easy to generate like that on the backhand off a no-pace ball. That is special.
$15. $30-50. $40-15.
Well, the gesture from Djokovic, as if Faria is playing with his eyes closed. What a forehand there. He certainly is playing what has to be the best tennis of his life here, the Portuguese.
I remember he's only ever had one tour level win, and that came in the opening round here against Pavel Kotov.
Again, Djokovic.
Djokovic leads. It's a set apiece.
New balls, please.
The new balls. I was hoping to get a glimpse maybe of the top of the can. See the fact that it's no longer made out of plastic.
So let me ask you, Robbie, if it's made out of paper now, does it still smell as good when you pop it open?
Don't know yet. Been experimented.
I don't know how it keeps the compression in if it's made out of paper.
Yep.
That's what's got me beat.
It's one of the great things, though, isn't it? Down the local club, someone turns up with a fresh can.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a good day.
Time.
Well, if you're joining us for the first time today, we are 2 hours and 14 minutes into the second round match of Novak Djokovic. He's up against Jaime Faria of Portugal. You'd think after 2 hours and 14 minutes that Novak could be pretty close to closing this one out, but it's been anything but. Give you a quick synopsis in a moment. I'd be surprised to see, well, the opening set, Novak must have duffed him up. Well, he was a little tentative, actually. But Faria, on the other hand, was just missing a lot. He was even more tight. Serve wasn't as effective. Forehand was missing. And he was down a break early in the second as well. But he started to up his level big time. Did serve for the second set, but got broken. Played an outstanding tie break. Went after it and was rewarded for doing so.
He's
been serving big. He's been getting some free points off of the serve. Timely aces, I can tell you. First serve percentage has been good as well. Just dropped off in this current set.
Looked a little heavy in the legs.
15, 13.
Yeah, he was in the zone. Faria, end of the second set, the first couple of games in the third, is he maybe just starting to cool off slightly here. Half a chance for Djokovic.
Novak going into lockdown mode. One of the shots I always look for as a barometer for Novak's confidence is his backhand down the line. And he has used that shot so sparingly today. Vast majority of the time he's just gone cross court.
I think because he's been so deep in the court. Look how deep he is to return here, and hasn't had a lot of time. So that's why, Robbie, I think he hasn't been able to pull the trigger.
Again, Djokovic.
Those are the returns that we have come to see so often on this Rod Laver Arena.
Djokovic leads.
Pretty awesome.
2-2.
Just enough of a dip from Faria. Gave Djokovic the opportunity, and didn't he take it well, the way that he's done over the years. Feeling an awful lot better now. This match is back under his control.
Again. And let's not forget, in the second set, it was Djokovic who went up an early break 2-1, but got broken in the very next service game. It was somewhat of a turning point in this contest.
15.
It's not often you see a reaction like that after a second serve from Novak. I think he enjoyed the fact that he went all in there.
It's these little moments. He identifies them so well. He knows how big they are. And
This is good from Faria. Felt his energy level had dipped. Obviously the disappointment had been broken, but he's coming straight back out fighting here.
I can't believe it. Last time he missed a backhand. It's a long, long time ago. Too many today, that's for sure. Normally forged in fire, that shot.
13.
Serving numbers feel good in this set. Yep, 11 of 12 when the first serve has gone in.
Just 5 of 21 first serves from Faria. No wonder he finds himself a breakdown. He's lost the serve in this set as well. The leg's a little heavy.
Cain, Djokovic.
Pedal to the metal for Novak. Fans are fired up.
Leads 5 games to 2.
It's 5-2, third set. What do you got for us, Colin?
Well, Djokovic should be feeling an awful lot better about things with that 5-2 and a break lead. We heard prior to this set, Andy Murray tell him to use the backhand cross court, get it closer to the line. Sets 1 and 2, 56% of backhands cross court. Look at set 3 so far, 63%. So he has listened to his new coach. He's made an adjustment. Has it helped? Maybe a little. Probably benefited from Faria having a bit of a dip in his energy levels, dropping the first serve percentage, but signs are good that Murray and Djokovic communicating well, seeing things similarly, and Murray helping make the difference, you would think, here in set 3.
Some good crowds here. Monday was a record, 95,000 through the turnstiles. It's the biggest day that we've had at the Australian Open. These majors are some of the biggest annual sporting events. Get close to 1 million fans when you include the qualifying week as well. Close, but close enough.
15.
Both players putting in a good shift.
Tell you what, Andy Murray's locked in, isn't he, as a coach? Powers of concentration, of course. He's well used to playing these 5-set matches. The mind is still there.
The feedback you get when you play against somebody like Djokovic is just invaluable. Josh, you've spoken about the physical exertion out here, and he'll know it's an area of his game that he's going to have to up if he wants to go toe-to-toe, wants to play 4-hour matches.
Well, as I said, when you've only won one match at tour level, and that's a couple of days ago, this is a giant learning curve. It does not get any better when you come out here on Rod Laver Arena. You're playing Novak. You've got coaches with iPads with live data information as well. That's ridiculous. That
Djokovic leads 5-3.
Team loved it. This is an unvarnished forehand.
How good is it to see a player as inexperienced as Faria playing in this way, enjoying his time on Rod Laver Arena so much.
Novak serving for a 2-1 lead. Was the winner of this match will take on Thomas Mahach. He beat Riley Apelka in a 5-set epic a little earlier today.
He's going to take his time here, Djokovic. This is 2-10s for some to watch. Like he ran out of steam a little on that long point.
Exactly what I was thinking.
He's already had one time violation, remember? So he can't take too long.
15-15.
Just up the quality when he's needed to in this third set, has Novak. He's been aided by Faria's serve not working as well as what it did in the previous one. He's got 2 set points.
Game end. That's it.
Only needs one.
6-3. Djokovic
And he'll be breathing a little easier now as he sits down with a 2-1 lead.
Well, that was a Djokovic special in many ways, that third set. He just managed it so well. And, allowed inexperienced Faria just to drop off. Look at the first serve percentage. It dropped off a cliff down to 33% of first serves going in. I think the legs got a little heavy, maybe just the adrenaline left his body for a period. Djokovic with 88% of first serve points won, as I say, just managing the set. Won the points that he needed to. He'll be feeling good now. He's 2-1 ahead.
The Serbian fans set in his opening 2 matches. Prior to that, it's never happened, so he's working awfully hard, is the Serbian. Because last year it was Prismic and Poprin who gave him a hard time in the early stage of the tournament. This year it's Laver and Faria that have been stretching his limits.
La 30.
There it is, Robbie. The bread and butter down the line. Just gaining with a little bit of extra confidence as this match has gone on. That is sublime.
Yeah, it's been his trademark, hasn't it, throughout his career. Oh, on a postage stamp in the corner.
Oh, isn't it just?
The big fella, he's battling here. He's just physically not used to playing at this intensity for as long as Novak can keep you out here. 2 hours, 34 minutes of just absolute quality, but I just think there's not much left in the legs.
Confidence definitely starting to course through the veins of Novak now. And I think what I enjoyed a lot in that game, not only the backhand down the line, Josh, but the improvisation that he has, the chip backhand return there to keep the ball in play, the couple of forehand chips. Just, he's got so many skills. We've seen it with Alcaraz as well.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of kudos for having those types of skills, but that man had plenty, that's for sure. Andy Murray on end range, just keeping themselves in the point. Just really good tennis IQ from the very best players in the world.
Yeah, and I did the Jerry Sinner match, and those opening two tie breaks, Sinner wasn't playing great, just in crucial times, Josh. Just chipping the ball back into play, got Jerry to miss once or twice on each breaker, and that was the decider. Nothing fancy. In fact, it was the most basic that won him both those breakers.
Yeah, I agree.
I think a lot of youngsters today, you coach at the highest level, sometimes they can be very one-dimensional in their training, Colin.
They can be. I mean, a lot is made these days of, you know, having weapons.
Yeah.
You know, all the points are short, 0 to 4, and yes, the majority of points are probably somewhere between 60–70% in the men's game, or between 0 and 4 shots. But sometimes the most important points can be 10, 12, 20 shots, as we've seen in this match. And that's where these players, top players, are so complete. Ability to win all types of points, but also for Djokovic, just recognizing the moment. Starting this fourth set, you know, no lull himself, everything in play. Got the break, now well in control.
Where it's such an advantage is that they can go to different game styles, game plan B, C, D, if things are not working, and that's what we've seen Novak do. We saw Sinner do it in that match against Jarry, but a guy like Faria, he's a little one-dimensional at the moment. Incredibly talented, I'll give that, but you just need to add a few strings to your bow.
Yeah, Djokovic. Djokovic leads 2 games to 0.
And Joshua, it was so interesting listening to some of the press conferences pre-tournament, and Sinner mentioning the fact that he's been working on everything. Little changes here, little changes there, fine-tuning. You might not see them, but we have been doing them. Always looking to evolve as a player.
Kick it up.
And perhaps someone like Steph Tsitsipas has been caught short in that department. He's spoken about the game, has moved away from him, Colin.
Well, look at Carlos Alcaraz. New service motion or sort of tweak to the rhythm. He's added weight to the racket. They're always exploring ways to get better.
Very low.
He's also brought a new approach on return. He's taken a lot of second serve returns very early, Alcaraz, so far. Hasn't had a match on Rod Laver yet. He'll get one at some point, I'm sure.
He was in a rush earlier today on Margaret Court. Enough of that one. I want to come over here now.
1 hour and 21 minutes against Yoshihito Nishioka, 6-love, 6-1, 6-4. Probably back on court, I would think, with Juan Carlos Ferrero.
Was Nishioka still on his honeymoon? Just got married recently.
40-50.
Taking the fifth on that one, Josh.
No, well, it's the only slam Alcaraz hasn't won. We know
Yep.
he's desperate to win the Australian Open, so I'm sure in the off-season he would have been really doing a lot of work and really targeting to come in here primed.
Too good for the moment. But what really matters is the scoreline. Novak's in charge.
Yeah, we've got some great storylines in the men's singles this year, the Australian Open. Alcaraz's pre-tournament quote saying that just about everything he did in the off-season was geared towards how do I beat Sinner, you know, in the final, in the big matches. Djokovic has added Andy Murray to his team to try and help him get the better of those guys. These big names potentially on a collision course. I think I'm right in saying from the draw, Robbie, it could be a potential Djokovic-Alcaraz quarter-final. Alcaraz seeded 3, Djokovic 7. It's tasty for a quarter if we get there.
What do you think Djokovic's best chance to win another Grand Slam? What surface? Which tournament?
I would say here or Wimbledon.
I say Wimbledon.
Yeah, Wimbledon, I reckon.
Yep.
That's the one.
Just discussing the change of ends. Novak's chances, or best chances. Josh asked the question of winning another major. You know how much he enjoys playing here. The record is impeccable. His record on hard courts in general is jaw-dropping. Sinner posted one of the best seasons ever on hard courts last year. He's coming. He's coming at everybody. Full power. 8 titles. And he only lost 3 matches on hard courts last year. He won 42 of those in straight sets.
Very low.
I was thinking maybe grass for Novak if he doesn't win here.
Yeah, I think so, because he's so good on grass, but I guess the modern day player doesn't get a lot of opportunity growing up playing on grass, so his opposition is a little hindered in that way, because years gone past the grass court season was longer. There was more tournaments on grass, so I just think he's got such an edge on that surface, and that's the one I think he would think as well. He's a huge chance of nabbing another slam.
Djokovic.
Bit of fancy footwork before that point, Robbie. That was
Djokovic
almost your
leads.
Benfica Sporting
3
Lisbon
games to 1.
derby you referred to earlier.
I was thinking just that.
Djokovic, fan of Benfica, is that fair to
That's
say?
right. Yeah, that's right. He's got a couple of jerseys.
He must support a few teams, though, does he? Can't just be Benfica.
Red Star Belgrade must be one of those.
Yeah, there we go. Faria, big fan of Sporting Lisbon, who are champions and top of the league at this moment. He's just getting pushed around now. Djokovic looks comfortable, he looks in control of proceedings. The energy level's just not quite there for Faria, maybe the ball speed dropping. He's given us so much in this match, hasn't he? What a second set, and tiebreak in particular that he played. His ceiling is high. And that man there, his coach, Pedro Sosa, will know that.
You'd be pretty excited having a charge like that, coaching a young kid. You'd know the upside. You just got to take a big picture approach. It's not about this week, or it's really not about even the next 12 months. It's about what can we do over the next couple of years to really build this kid's body up, add extra dimensions to his game, and really worry about it in 3 or 4 years. He's going to be contending for some titles, you'd think, sort of when he's in his prime, around mid-20s.
I just think the length has improved as well from Novak on the ground strokes. And for me, that's always a good indication that he's hitting through the ball nicely. Cleaner contact. 3 more break points.
15-14.
Pretty stressful, I would imagine, for Andy. These 2 matches that he's had to sit in the coaching box. Lot to ponder. That's more like it.
New balls, please.
He's loving life now, and why not? He's a double break to the good in the 4th set, and he leads by 2 sets to 1.
Djokovic leads 4 games to 1.
It's going to be a really interesting 3rd round with Thomas Mahac. If you ask me, Mahac is a step up on what he's faced so far.
No kidding.
You know, that guy.
I mean, he was 4-7 against top 10 players last year.
Yeah, and he will step onto the court thinking, I'm going to be the pantomime villain here. I'm going to take this guy out. He will really believe in himself in that one. It'll be a physical match. The baseline points will be high octane. He'll be ripping the ball around. Sign me up for that one.
Love it.
Of course, if Novak does end up going through here, which of course is looking very likely, Thomas Mahac awaits. And he's coming off a career best season and a good win in 5 sets against Raleigh Opelka, so he'll have his tail up.
Because Mahac and Djokovic have played twice.
And he was the party spoiler, if memory serves, on one occasion.
Yeah, that was in Geneva last summer on the clay in the semi-final. Mahac winning 6-4, love 6, 6-1. Okay, it's not a Grand Slam, but he stepped onto the court and shaking hands as the winner. Djokovic beat him in Dubai 2023. Just pushed it wide, but even that match in Dubai, that was 6 in the 3rd. Djokovic prevailed. And Mahac is a better player now than he was then.
Yeah, no kidding.
And played really well at the United Cup in Sydney, Mahac. He was, you'll remember, he was playing Fritz, Taylor Fritz. He'd won the 1st set and was close to victory. And
2 match points, Josh.
Yeah, ended up walking off the court.
Yeah.
Didn't finish the match, but his group stage matches were very impressive.
And let's not forget, he beat Alcaraz in Shanghai not that long ago. I can tell you, he out-punched him significantly.
Yeah, he'll take it on. He he won't hold back. He's a character on court as well.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that if we get there, which it's looking likely here.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's nicely done. And I can tell you, just off the ground, when he beat Alcaraz in Shanghai, he had 32 winners to Alcaraz's 18. I mean,
Gentlemen, out of respect to both players, please.
so if you think this guy's got some big groundies, wait until Mahac takes to center stage.
Yes. Advantage. Faria.
Oh, that's Old Faithful.
Yes.
It is Old Faithful. It's not necessarily the quickest serve at 189, but it's got accuracy plus movement. It's a heady cocktail.
Advantage. Djokovic.
He's just having one or two words with a few people around this this arena. Djokovic becoming slightly distracted.
Again, Djokovic. Djokovic leads 5 games to 1.
Oh, he's kept it a lot tighter in this fourth set. Accuracy of the ground strokes has been good. He's made things nice and simple for himself. He's laid the platform with some good serving and just blowing those, so maybe giving him a hard time. A little kiss.
Taylor.
Beautiful there from Faria, just reminding us of some of the tennis that won in the second set. Foundation of his game is power, the big serve, the big hitting, but this guy can volley, he's got feel. Definitely a name to watch out for in years to come. Hard to believe that 12 months ago he was outside the world's top 400. He's going to be well inside the top 100 very, very soon, you would think.
Jaime Faria.
That's good stuff. We'll get one more look at least at Novak's serve. 5-2, Djokovic leads. Well, I guess change of ends, Josh. Just give me your marks out of 10 for Novak. If he goes on to win it here.
Look,
You as well, Cole.
I think he's been solid, absolutely solid. He's got better as the match has gone on, and that's what he does. So I think, you know, you don't win a Grand Slam in the first week, but you can certainly lose it. So I think he's building with momentum. There's a lot of things that he can still just slightly tweak. So he's going to have to fire up in his next match. There's no doubt about it. But overall, it's been a pretty solid performance. I'm going to give him about a 7.5 out of 10 for this. It's been pretty good.
Well, almost 3 hours in the making now, this match. And just as was the case last year for Novak, he has lost at least one set in his opening 2 rounds, but he's got a chance to wrap this one up right now with a decent service game here. Book himself a place in the 3rd round against Thomas Mahach. Triple match point for the 10-time champion.
Game, Novak Djokovic. 3 sets to 1. 6-1, 6-7, 6-3, 6-2.
Well, in a record-setting 430th Grand Slam match for Novak today. He needed to use a lot of experience to get the better of the Portuguese. A slow start, but finished with a flourish. 6-1, 6-7, 6-3, 6-2. How do you like that one, Andy?
thoroughly enjoyable contest. 3 hours, 4 sets. The master and the rookie. I'll tell you what, the rookie entertained us for a large part of it. That second set was seriously impressive. They just ran out of steam from probably the early stages of the third, but Jaime Faria, remember the name, he'll be back next year. He'll be back stronger and very dangerous. Huge game that he's got. Djokovic, as he's done so many times over the years, just figuring him out, outlasting him, outmaneuvering him here on Rod Laver Arena. And it's 2 from 2 for the Murray-Djokovic coach-player relationship.
Well, Nuno Borges was a winner earlier today against Jordan Thompson. So there is something for the Portuguese tennis fans back at home to celebrate. And they'll celebrate the way he competed against this guy. Slow start, but he held his own for a large period throughout the match. And there's his watch, I can tell you, that is made up of 25 of his head rackets and some Lacoste polo t-shirts all mixed in there with some special resin. It's a seriously scarce timepiece, but of course with a bit of a Novak touch to it as well. Colin, how's that?
Incredible.
He's going to have a chat with our very own Josh Eagle now.
Novak, congratulations. Not sure you're quite aware of it, but another record for you today. The most ever wins at a Grand Slam level. You're at 430, overtaking Roger Federer.
Thank you. What to say, you know, I love this sport. I love competition. I love you too, thank you. I try to give my best, you know, every single time. It's been over 20 years that I've been competing in a Grand Slam at the highest level, and whether I win or lose, one thing is for sure, you know, I'll always leave my heart out on the court. And so Grand Slams, of course, they are the pillars of our sport. They mean everything for the history of this sport. They are the ones that motivate the youngest children. You know, when I was a kid, the first image I had of tennis was watching Wimbledon finals. I was 4 or 5 years old. So, yeah, Grand Slams are definitely the most important tournaments in the world in our sport. It's been over 100, I think, 30 years of existence of this incredible event. So I'm just blessed to be making another record, I guess, today.
And Novak, you didn't have it all your own way today. He's a really talented ball striker. That second set, he was throwing absolutely everything at you. The next generation, they seem to be coming through, that they're playing big, but your response in that third and fourth sets, that was impressive.
Yeah, I think I responded very well. Third and particularly fourth set, the way I ended up the match. Yesterday, Medvedev played 5 sets. He was 2 sets to 1 down. And in the wise words of Mr. Daniel Medvedev, if the future generation plays this way, they're going to have everything. Money, girls, casino. I just love that statement. I had to say it. So yeah, I mean, he was playing lights-out tennis. I think, you know, towards the end of the second set and beginning of the third, you know, I had to weather the storm. He's been practically serving 2 first serve the entire match. Not easy to play someone like that who, you know, doesn't have obviously anything to lose and coming out. He's a big guy. Very young, I think 20 or 21 years old. So I told him at the net, future is bright for him. He should keep going.
Absolutely. Novak, great. You've got your family here, of course. Stefan in the front there, and of course it was wonderful to see pictures early in the week of you surfing. How was your surfing skills, or was that more with Tara? Just something different out and about around the grounds here.
No, I was more of a moral and physical support to my children and my wife. They were the ones surfing. I didn't want to risk it, to be honest.
It's a dangerous sport.
I mean, it looks like a controlled environment, you know, a really nice facility. So hopefully, yeah, gonna go deep in the tournament, and after I'm done, maybe I'll give it a try. You know, my son and my wife did a great job. My daughter, she was a little bit overwhelmed with the size of the waves. I mean, from her perspective. So I had to give her emotional support. So I was there for that, and yeah, it was amazing to spend some quality time with my family.
It's been another great day, Novak Djokovic. Into the third round. Congratulations, mate. Well done.